Hey everyone, it's Casey Nicole, and today I'm going to guide you through a full lead slow flow class. So think about it like a Vinyasa flow, but just slowed down. And slow does not always equate to easy. So there will still be some intensity. We're going to focus more on the upper body, side body, and into that core connection. So I would recommend having 2 blocks and 1 strap available just in case. And we're going to get started in a child's pose by taking the knees wide or together, whatever feels best, connecting the big toes, letting the hips drop in the direction of the heels. They do not have to touch. And just slowly relax your spine forward and down. Let your head drop heavy. And try to rest your head all the way down to the ground, to a block, or maybe stack your hands underneath your head to provide some support. I'm going to keep my head lifted just for the sake of you hearing me more clearly, but relax yourself entirely. From the top all the way down to the bottom, feel every single muscle begin to disengage, to soften, and to fully settle into the presence of this moment. And as you scan over your body with your mind's eye, to start to check in with the areas that feel resistant, that feel discomfort, tension, areas that are asking for a little more care and love today. And as we move through this practice, I want you to align yourself with the options or variations that help to serve you where you are in the moment, rather than what served you yesterday or the day before, or what you think that you should be doing. Just tune in, feel your breath, feel your body, and stay connected. And we're going to help establish that connection here with the breath especially. So exhale, let everything go. Through the nose, slowly breathe in into your belly. Open up your rib cage and feel the breath lift up into your shoulders, your chest, upper back, holding here at the very top of the breath. And then open up the mouth and exhale, let it all the way out. Again, slow inhale, filling up nice and gently, expanding into every space within the torso. You can even imagine breathing all the way down the length of your limbs, holding at the top of the breath. Any of that residual tension, feel it lift to the surface. And then open up the mouth and exhale, let it all the way out. Go ahead and take 1 more of those on your own. Once you've completed your exhale, let your breath fall into a more natural rhythm in and out of the nose. We're going to come into our Ujjayi breath, which is a victorious breath. And you can come into this breath by imagining that you're fogging up a mirror. That HA sound that you create. But as you seal the lips, you feel that same sensation as you breathe in and out of your nose, that constriction down the back of your throat. It'll make the breath sound like an ocean wave or like Darth Vader breath. And try to maintain that on the inhales and the exhales. Let yourself fully be present with the breath. And take about 2 more here in this position. Now we're going to come into a more active child's pose. So as you stay in this position, feel your arms extend out in front of you, lifting the elbows. And with the arms fully straightened, you might even want to walk the hands in a little bit closer towards you so that you can press through your hands, press the mat away, and push your hips even deeper back towards your heels. Once again, they don't have to touch. You're just pushing them back and down. And then as you relax that tension, start to come up high onto your fingertips. As the fingertips come to the ground, we're lifting the palms up. And then now start to press your fingertips down into the ground and imagine this time that you're pulling the ground towards your knees. And this is more of an energetic activation rather than actually moving your hands towards your knees. You're just feeling those muscles engage as though you're pulling it in. 1 more breath. Now we're going to work into the side body here. So go ahead and replant through the palms, lengthen to the spine, take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, walk your hands to the left side, as far over to the left as you'd like. Maybe you only walk a little bit, maybe you walk a lot, but try to take the left hand off of the mat so you have more space, and then walk the right hand over towards that left hand. Maybe it even rests on top of the left hand, and then feel your hips sinking back and down towards the heels as much as you can. So you feel that anchoring point from your right hip all the way out to the right fingertips. Take one more deepened breath here. Inhale, walk your hands back around through to center. Find length here. And then exhale, walk it over to the right side. Same thing. Walk the right hand off of the mat. And then left hand can continue to walk over. Maybe it rests on top. And then feel the heaviness in your left hip as it melts back and down. The reach out through your left fingertips to create that elongation through the entirety of your left side body. Inhale, walk your hands back around through to center. And now you're going to walk the hands towards the knees as you sit back up onto the heels. Now, this is not always a comfortable position. If it puts tension on your knees, you can always just come into a cross-leg seat, or you can take one block or two blocks and bring them underneath your hips between your feet, which is going to help lift your weight up a little bit, which means less pressure downward on your joints. Find the variation that works for you here. Spine up nice and tall. Take a moment to close your eyes. Feel that connection to your breath. Join your hands together at heart center. And just use this time to set an intention for your practice, whatever that is. And then gently blink open through the eyes. Let's interlace the fingers. And as you clasp your hands, palms flip down and then reach your palms forward in front of you. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press your hands round your upper back and shoulders. Press as much as you can. And then inhale, pull the shoulder blades back. Almost imagine you could try to squeeze something between your shoulder blades, opening up wide across your chest. And then exhale, press and round. Slight curling of your upper back. Inhale, open, retract through the shoulders, open up across the chest. One more round. Exhale, press. Inhale, drawing shoulder blades back. Now from here, inhale, lift the arms all the way up over your head. Start to lift your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, just relax your shoulders. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift your shoulder blades up as high as you can. Exhale, relax them down. One more time. Inhale, press up, lift up through the shoulders. Exhale, relax them down. Start to bend your elbows and take your hands behind the back of your head. Elbows open up nice and wide. Start to open up your rib cage and feel your chest lifting up towards the ceiling. Take another breath here. Feel your elbows pull back, opening them wide, and then start to separate your fingers as you pull your elbows back and all the way down to your sides, letting the hands follow. Once you're here, pull the shoulders forward and up. And exhale, relax them all the way back and down. One more time. Inhale, roll the shoulder blades forward and up. And exhale, roll them back and down. We're going to grab a strap here. And hold on to your strap. If you have a metal ring or any kind of clasp, hold close to that so it's not flinging around when we do this next movement. Take a wide space between the hands. And as you do, we're going to try to keep the arms straight. So if at any point you feel like you're going to have to bend your elbows or do kind of one at a time, I want you to separate your hands more to provide more space. Inhale, lift the arms up high over your head. And as you do, you're going to feel kind of this snag or this catch right where your shoulders feel a little sticky. And then open up your ribs and chest. Give yourself another breath here. Now, if you want to create more space, separate your hands Keep your arms as straight as you can and feel them drop all the way back and down. Okay, inhale, keep them straight as you lift them all the way up. And exhale, bring them forward and down. So we're going to go through that a few more rounds. If you want to create more intensity, hands walk closer together. If you want more space, walk the hands farther apart. I want you to feel something, but never too much, nor do I want us to maneuver one side at a time. They should be both moving at the same time. We're not twisting and tweaking around. We're just trying to keep it nice and neutral. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, drop it back and down. Continue on your own, inhaling, lifting, and exhale forward and down. Now, as you continue, if this is too much, you can always do one at a time by lifting one, bend the elbow, and just focus on one at a time, rather than just trying to maneuver both at different times. So listen to your body. You can either do one at a time, just keeping the other elbow bent and working within that range of motion. But if you can, try to do them both at the same time. Last round here. And then once it's back in front of you, you can set the strap off to your side and just spend a few breaths just rolling or shaking out through the shoulders. So once again, when we are maneuvering one at a time, but we're still trying to do both of them, we end up creating these twisty motions that can often create little tweaks into the spine. And that's why we want to isolate one side at a time or keep them both moving together, just so we have a little bit more clarity on that. We're going to open just a little bit more into the shoulders. Let's take the right arm forward, thumb up, cross it over the chest, and feel your left hand hook underneath as you pull it in. Try to keep the spine nice and lifted. Couple deep breaths. And then we're going to build a little bit of activation in this position as well. So the hand that hooks in front, we're going to keep it locked into place. But the arm that's crossed over your chest, I want you to imagine trying to push it back out in front of you. So you're pushing your right arm into your left, but your left hand is keeping it locked in place. You should feel some activation into that right shoulder, that resistance. One more deep breath. Keep pressing the right arm forward. And then exhale, relax your arms to your sides, roll your shoulders a little bit here. I always prefer rolling the shoulders forward, up, back, and down, and finishing with them pulled back and down, rather than finishing with them pulled forward and down, because curling forward is a shape we take pretty often. We want to do the opposite. We want to open things up. Let's do the other side. Left arm reaches forward, thumb up. Cross it over the chest and hook the right arm underneath as you start to pull it in towards the chest. As you do, try to keep the spine nice and lifted. Deep breath here. And then we're going to create resistance. So keep your right arm locked in. Don't let it move. Left arm extends and then try to push it forward into that right arm, but it's not going to let it move. Feel all that tension, all that energy. Take another breath. And then slowly release, arms to your sides. We're going to feel the difference here this time. So roll the shoulders back, up, forward, and down. Imagine if we ended here, okay? We would probably feel really poor postural alignment. So instead, shoulders roll forward, up, back, and then release them down. So we leave our bodies in a more open shape in contrast to what we do every single day. Let's go ahead and make our way forward into a tabletop position. Separate your knees about the width of the hips. We're going to go through some cat-cows to help open up through the spine, through the pelvis. So starting with a nice neutral spinal positioning, take a deep breath in. Exhale, chin to your chest, tuck your tail, round your back, really curl here. Press through the hands and through the knees. Inhale, drop the belly down, scoop up through your chest, lift up through your hips. Feel that full extension and the hammocking of your spine. And exhale, rounding back in, curling the chin to the chest, tail wraps under, lifting your back body. Inhale, open up into the reverse motion. and take just a couple more here on your own. Move at your own pace and add in whatever variation feels good in your body. Don't think about it so much. Just feel it. Close your eyes and move a little more intuitively. And then slowly make your way back into a neutral shape here. We're going to take a little bit of a twist and shoulder opener. Right arm reaches to the right and all the way up. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, we're going to take the top hand, weave it underneath the left arm. You can either just drop onto your elbow and open here, or keep sliding it through until you can drop the shoulder to the ground. If the shoulder lands down, scoot your head forward and then relax your head to the floor. I'm going to give you a couple options that you can take with your left hand. So the first option, maybe walk the hand overhead towards the front of the mat and then come up onto the fingertips and press to the fingertips to open. You might also want to reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, flip the palm back to create a rotation into the shoulder, and then drop it around into your lower back, or maybe even weave it into that inner right thigh if it's available. Taking more of a half bind position. Let's take another breath or two. If the arm is to the back, slowly reach it up and exhale, left hand to the ground. Lean into the left hand to press yourself back up. Right hand reaches towards the ceiling and then bring it back down, tabletop position, and we'll do the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm to the left and all the way up. Open up the chest, open up the ribs. Exhale, thread the needle as you bring it underneath. Either drop onto your elbow or keep sliding it through until you can drop your shoulder. Head scoots forward and then rest the head down so there's space for the neck. Right hand can walk overhead, opening up here as you come up onto the fingertips. Maybe reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, flip the palm back, and drop it around into your lower back or into that inner thigh. Deepened breath. If the arm is adjusted, slowly bring it back down, plant the palm. Lean into that right hand as you press up. Inhale, left arm reaches up high towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the hand back down to the ground. From here, we're going to lower our forearms down to the ground, bringing them towards the front of the mat. And then slowly extend the legs back into a forearm plank position. Try to level the hips down with the rest of the body, feeling one long line of energy from your heels all the way to the crown of your head. Belly button hugs in. You can always drop the knees here. Take another breath or two. And then exhale, lower the knees, untuck the toes, melt the hips down, and scoop your heart forward and up. Sphinx pose. Get the elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Not in front of them, not behind them, directly underneath. Press in through the palms, active legs, grip the ground with your hands and pull the ground towards you, feeling your heart lifting. Take a couple breaths here. And then as you relax, open up the elbows wide as you lower your chest down. Slide your hands back so they're directly underneath your shoulders. Elbows draw in slightly towards the side body. Keep your feet actively pressing into the ground. We're going to do 3 rounds of Cobra. Come up as high as you would like. Inhale, peel your heart forward, up and open. And exhale, right back down. Again, inhale, lift up through your heart. Exhale, lower, right back down. Inhale, last round, lifting up through the heart. On your exhale, pull back onto the knees. Take a quick child's pose. Sink the hips towards the heels. Relax your spine, relax your head. Take a breath or two. Come back into those deep Ujjayi breaths. And then when you're ready, come forward into tabletop. Let's tuck the toes. Feel free to reposition hands and feet as much as needed. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And from here, you can start to pedal out the legs, shift around a little bit in the hips, maybe come high up onto the toes. The heels don't have to touch the ground, but it's a general direction to create more length into the backs of the legs. Play around a little bit with your shapes. Let's take another breath here. Inhale, come high up onto the toes. Exhale, looking forward towards your hands, and just walk your way into a standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Separate the feet about the width of the hips. Let your body hang here. Generous bend into the knees. You can either let your hands dangle or grab opposite elbows and sway yourself side to side. If you would prefer to hug yourself in, wrapping the arms around the legs, you can take that. Listen to what feels best for you. I am simply a guide. One more breath. If you're in motion, sway yourself back to center and let your arms drop heavy. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. Pull the heart forward. Exhale, fold and release down. With a flat back, inhale, come all the way up. Reaching up tall, arms up high over your head. Open up the chest. And then take your hands, bring them together at heart center. We're going to do a little bit of an opening into our shoulders, this time clasping them behind us. If you have difficulty getting the hands clasped while extending the arms straight, or have difficulty lifting the arms away from the back, grab a strap. Even if you don't, it feels good to have a strap even so. So I'm going to use it. If you have a strap, create distance between your hands with the strap. The more distance you have, the more space for your shoulders to open. Feet about hips width apart, lift your spine, take a deep breath in. And then exhale, softness in the knees, hinging forward, forward bend. Feel the arms pulling away from the back, opening overhead. Once again, if you're having trouble lifting them overhead, create more space between your hands, just like we did earlier with the strap over our heads. One more breath here. Now looking forward, pull through the knuckles, come all the way back up. Now take the strap, set it out of your way, off to the side. We're going to stretch into the side body a little bit, and then we're going to start to move through some sun salutations. So with the feet about hips width, or you can set them together. I'm going to face you here. Right hand down to your right side. Fingertips reaching towards the floor. Left hand reaches forward and up. Take a deep breath in, reach up through the fingertips, and press down into your left foot. And then exhale, you're going to lean that top arm over to the right. Feel your hips move over to the left. And stretching here, you can even look out towards your top hand. Another breath or two. Inhale, come all the way up, and then drop your left arm down to your left side. And we're going to do the same thing now, repeated on the left. Left hand drops down to the left, right arm reaches forward and up. Draw tall through the fingertips, press firmly into your right foot as you lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, lean over to the left, stretching overhead, reaching nice and long. Feel your breath here. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach both arms high over your head, standing at the top of the mat. And exhale, forward fold, hinging all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine forward. And exhale, step back, plank position. From plank position, stack the shoulders over the wrists, fingers spread open as much as it feels comfortable. Reaching back through your heels, feel your quads engage. The knees can always drop down to the ground, finding a nice long line of energy, either from knees to crown or from your back heels to your crown. Take another breath. If you're on your toes, maybe rock forward. Option to drop the knees. Exhale, lower halfway down, pause, and then lower to the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up through your chest. Open up across the heart space. Exhale, make your way back into downward facing dog. So right now we're still connecting a little bit of that breath and that motion together. But especially as we start to move and progress through the one breath, one motion, we're going to start to slow things down and we'll start to emphasize the pauses between the breath. So the pause at the top of the breath and the pause at the bottom of the breath. Let's take one more deep breath here. Exhale completely. Look forward, and at the pause at the bottom of the breath, make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, heart draws forward. Feel the pause. Exhale, forward fold. Pause at the bottom. Inhale, flat back. Come all the way up. Reaching up tall, open up the chest at the top. Feel the pause. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to drape all the way back down. Ride out the full length of the breath. Inhale, feel your heart pull forward. And exhale, we're going to step back and lower into chaturanga. Feel free to lower the knees. As you lower halfway down, pause, or all the way down, pause. Then inhale, lift up through your heart. And then exhale, downward facing dog. So often, especially when we're taking chaturanga, we like to rush the process. So we're not going to rush today. We're going to feel not only the postures, but we're going to feel the full essence of the breath and those pauses in between, which will help us to not rush through the transitions. Let's take one more breath in here. Full breath out. Feel the pause, step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Feel the pause at the top. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reaching up tall for the lifting of your chest. Exhale, forward fold, drape all the way back down. We're going to go through one more full sun salutation A. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, drop the knees if needed, lower down chaturanga, half or all the way down. Pause. Then inhale, lift up through your heart, cobra or upward dog. And to complete our vinyasa, exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Things become a little bit more challenging when you slow them down because it forces you to feel the full intensity of that posture rather than rushing through or using it only as transition. Let's take another breath in and a full breath out, and then make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breath in, forward fold, breath out. Inhale, come up to standing, reaching up, lifting tall. This time, take your hands, bring them together at your heart center. We're going to come into a sun salutation B, but we're going to do it more in a modified or different variations once we get back to that warrior one. So to start us off here, let's bring the feet as closely together as it feels good in your body. Take a bend into the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Spending a breath or so here as you sink into it. Tail reaches down, ribs in, sit back into the heels, and really sit into that invisible chair. Arms can extend up, or if that puts too much strain on the shoulders, hands can come together at your heart. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, drape all the way down. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, we're going to take our vinyasa, step back, lower into chaturanga, pause at the bottom of the breath. Then inhale, lift up through your heart. And then exhale, downward dog, completing that sequence. Now from downward dog, stepping the feet together, inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. Open up the hip, bend the knee, and just spend a breath or two here, adding in any movements that help you to open up into the hips, the backs of the legs. Let it come more intuitively. Inhale, straighten out your leg, square your hips, and with control, begin to step your right foot forward. Try to step it between the hands. Back foot, 45-degree angle. Separate the feet like railroad tracks. And inhale, come up warrior one. So rather than just staying in a very traditional warrior one, we're going to take humble warrior. Take your hands, interlace your fingers behind your back, or use a strap between your hands. Lift the knuckles, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinging forward, either right above the right leg or drape to the inside, but keep your hips squared forward, pulling the knuckles overhead as much as you can. Another breath or two. Now, from here, feel your knuckles come towards your back and then release your hands down to the ground. We're going to pivot on the back foot and then drop the back knee and release the toes. From here, let's grab blocks. You don't need them. Maybe you need them. Maybe you don't. But we're going to take the blocks up onto the highest point. And from here, make sure your front knee is stacked directly over the ankle. Reach your tail down towards the ground and just feel your hips start to sink forward and down. Feel that nice opening through the front of your left hip, all the way down into your quads. The more you reach the tail down and the front hip points up, the more you're going to feel that intensity. One more breath. And then pull the hips back and walk the front foot forward a little bit. Stack the hips over that back knee. As you roll up onto your front heel and the toes pull back. Once again, if you can do this without the blocks, you can do that. You can just set them off to the side. But make sure, if you're in this position, that your leg is fully straightened. Let's take another breath in, lengthen the spine, and folding in. In fact, let's take two more here. Just give yourself time to settle in. Coming all the way back up through the spine. Wiggle the front foot back in until you can replant the foot, knee over the ankle. If you have blocks, you can set them out of your way. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee. We're going to step back into plank position. Take a deep breath in. Maybe rock forward, maybe drop the knees. Exhale, lower half or all the way down. Pause at the bottom of the breath. Inhale, lift your heart forward, up and open, cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Once again, let's step the feet together. Inhale, left leg up. Open up the hip, bend the knee, spend a few breaths here. Any movements that feel good. Inhale, straighten out the leg, square the hips. Exhale, step forward, all the way to the front. Make sure the knee is over the ankle. Back foot, 45 degrees. Separate your feet the width of your hips. And inhale, come up warrior one. As you come up, arms over your head. Find your foundation first. Then take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Whatever thumb naturally wants to cross on top, do the opposite. Opposite thumb on top. Or if you're using a strap, use the strap. Draw through the knuckles, heart lifts up. And exhale, humble warrior, hinging over or draping slightly to the inside. Arms pulling away from the lower back. Keep sinking in, squaring the hips forward. Take another breath or two, gazing beyond the tip of the nose. Then feel your knuckles move towards your back. Release your hands all the way down to either side of the front foot. Pivot on your back foot to lift the heel and gently drop the back knee. Release the toes. Once again, front knee right over the ankle, with or without the blocks. You're going to feel your tail start to reach down, and then let your hips sink forward and down towards the front heel, drawing your ribs forward and your heart up. You can even use your fingertips here. Blocks are also that great option. Blocks always just provide more space. So if you feel crunched, use the blocks. They're here to help you. Now pull your hips back a little bit so you can walk your front foot forward a couple inches and then roll up onto the heel. The toes pull back. Your hips should be stacked over the back knee. Long spine on an inhale. And exhale, fold. Let's spend a few breaths here. Feel into that sensation. Now, as you lengthen the spine, rebend the front knee, wiggle the foot in. If you have blocks, set them out to the side. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, plant the hands, step back, and on your next exhale, lower down your variation of chaturanga. Pause. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Transition how you will. Spend a few breaths here. Maybe take child's pose instead. One more breath. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, feel the pause. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Feet as closely together as you can. Lengthen the spine. Take a breath in. Breath out, folding back down. Bend into the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Drop the hips. Reach up through the arms. Tail reaches down, ribs knit in. Take another breath in. And just forward fold, come all the way back down. Long spine, inhale. Either exhale, step into downward dog, or step back, chaturanga. If you're in downward dog, wait there. Pause at your bottom of your chaturanga. Inhale, lift up through your chest. And exhale, let's take a quick child's pose. So just drop down into this shape. Let yourself relax, or any other relaxing position is just fine. When you're ready, let's meet back in downward facing dog, and we'll start to flow a little bit here. But the flow is going to be less of the one breath, one motion, and just moving a little bit more slowly and controlled. Step the feet together. Inhale, right leg reaches up. This time, just take a big step forward between the hands. Back foot, 45-degree angle. Inhale, rise. Come up into warrior one. Now, as you sink into your warrior one, drop your right hand down to your right side. And I'm going to face you just so you can see here. As the right hand drops to the right side, I'm not going to hold on to my leg or anything. Fingertips are just dangling to the side. Left hand reaches forward and up. Lift your spine. And then exhale, you're going to lean to the right side, stretching away from the left. Right fingertips just falling heavy towards the ground. Hold here. Take one more breath. Inhale, slowly come all the way back up into warrior one. And exhale, open yourself up into warrior two. Take your time. Find that right foot positioning. Neutralize through your pelvis as it sinks in. Arms stretching forward and back. Gazing over that front hand. Now begin to reach forward as far as you can. You're going to set your elbow, your front elbow, down onto your front thigh. And then take your top hand, reach it overhead, and then start to stretch towards the front of your mat. So you're taking that top hand from the ceiling and start to reach it overhead, out in front of you. Breath. Stay here or try to get light in your elbow, your bottom elbow. See if you can hover your elbow. If not, just keep it down. If you can hover, keep your chest open. Maybe reach your right hand forward. Squeeze a beach ball between your hands. One more breath. Now inhale, lift all the way up with that beach ball and straighten out your front leg. Left hand, rest to the back leg. Take your front hand and reach it all the way up and back into this reverse triangle position. One more breath in. And then exhale, bend into the front knee. Hands come all the way down to the ground. Continue to breathe. Pivot on your back foot. Step into a plank position. Take a breath here. And then exhale, rock forward. Feel free to drop the knees, lower chaturanga. Feel the pause. Inhale, lift up through your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, take a big step forward to the front. Spend some time separating the feet, grounding the back heel to a 45-degree angle. And when you're ready, inhale, come up warrior one. From your warrior one, same thing that we did on the other side. Continue to breathe. Left hand drops down to the left side. Just let the fingers dangle. Right arm stays reaching up as you lift taller. And then exhale, lean to the left side. Stretch into the side body. Test your sense of stability. One more breath here. Inhale, lifting all the way back up through both arms, through the spine. And exhale, open up into warrior two. Separate the feet, wider apart, arms forward and back. Nice neutral pelvic positioning. One more breath, gazing over the front hand. Start to reach forward. Lower the left elbow to the thigh. Right arm reaches up. And then start to take it overhead, stretching long in front of you through the top hand. Open up the ribs and chest. Stay here or try to get light in your torso and see if you can hover your left elbow. If you can, maybe reach it forward, squeeze the beach ball. Now continue to squeeze if you have the beach ball. Inhale, come all the way up, straighten out the front leg. Arms overhead and set your right hand to your back leg, stretching the top arm back, overhead into your reverse triangle position. Breath here. Inhale, come all the way back up, bend into the front knee. Take your hands down to frame your front foot. Pivot, step back, plank. Take another breath here. Rock forward, maybe drop the knees. Exhale, chaturanga, pause. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And let's take a quick child's pose. Sink the hips back to the heels. Relax your spine, relax your head. Slow your breath down a little bit here. If at any point you have too much heat inside of your body, just open up your mouth and let it go. All right. One more breath. When you're ready, downward facing dog. We'll go through one last little mini flow here. Step the feet together. Inhale your right leg up. And exhale, step forward between the hands. Take your time, feet, hips width, ground the back heel. On your next inhale, come up, warrior one. And let's just drop the right arm down to your right side. Deepen your breath. Left arm reaches up, breath in. Lean over to that right side. Slowly come all the way back up. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, open up into your warrior two. Set the back heel open up the hips. Now start to reach forward, lower your right elbow, left hand reaches overhead. We're going to move from here. Inhale, just come all the way up and straighten out the front leg. Right arm reaches up and over your head. Let's do that again. Exhale, bend your front knee, come forward, drop the elbow and feel your top hand reach overhead. Then inhale, come up, straighten the front leg, reach the right arm up and over, reverse triangle. Now exhale as you bend your front knee, hands come down, pivot on your back foot, step into plank. From plank, bring your feet together. Right hand to the center of your mat, slightly forward. You're going to pivot your feet to the right side or drop your right knee to the ground. Left arm reaches up, side plank. Lifting your torso up away from the ground, pressing into the bottom hand. Hold here, whatever variation you're in. Nice deep breath. Slowly take the top hand down, come back to plank. Shift your weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Pause. Feel free to use the knees. Inhale, lift up through your heart, cobra or upward dog. And downward facing dog. Send the hips up and back. Feet together. Left leg up, breath in. And exhale, take a big step forward, all the way to the front. Back foot, 45. When you're ready, inhale, come up, warrior one. Set the left hand down to your left side. Right arm reaches up, inhale. Lean over to the left. Next breath in, come all the way up, arms over your head. Exhale, open up into warrior two. Start to reach forward. Let the left elbow drop to the thigh. Top arm sweeps overhead. Then as you inhale, come up, straighten the front leg. Back hand to the back leg. Front hand reaches up and over. And exhale, bend into the front knee as you come forward. Lower the left elbow. Right hand overhead. Inhale, come all the way up, straighten the legs. Right hand to the back leg. Left hand up high over your head. And then bend your front knee. Take your hands to the ground. Pivot on the back foot. Step back, plank. Feet together. Left hand to the center of the mat below the face and then slightly forward. Pivot your feet to the left or drop your left knee. Hips up, right arm up. Side plank. Try not to collapse in your bottom shoulder. One more breath. Slowly lower your top hand. Pivot back to center, plank position. Final vinyasa, come forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Pause, your variation. Inhale, lift up through your heart. And child's pose. Sink the hips back and down. Relax the spine, relax your head. Feel free to expel some of that excess heat. Slow it down. Deepen your breath. And when you're ready, let's come forward, sweep the legs around, and we're going to make our way down onto our backs. As you come onto your back, take a block with you. And as you recline down, bend the knees, walk the feet in. We're going to lift the hips and take your block at your desired height and bring it right underneath your sacrum. That flat triangular bone on the back of your pelvis. It should feel nice and supported here. And just feel that opening, that releasing into your lower back. Now, option. If you want to stay here, stay here. If you want to come into a more active bridge, arms to your sides, press to your feet and just lift the hips off of the block. You can tuck the shoulders, you can interlace your fingers if you want, and then press to your feet and try to lift your hips, lift your ribs, and lift your chest. One more breath. And then melt yourself back down onto the block, nice and easy. So if you want to do that again, you can do the same thing again. If you want to take wheel pose and you feel open and ready for it, you can lift the hips, remove the block, and that way we don't have to worry about it when we come down. Hands back by the ears, press to the hands, press to the feet, and come up into your wheel. Pressing, strong legs. One more breath. If you're in bridge, come back down onto your block. If you're in wheel, come all the way down onto your backs. If you have the block, lift the hips, remove the block, and we'll all meet here flat down on our spines and just rock your knees from side to side. Bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees open. Slow everything down. We're going to come into more of a relaxing hip opener today. Nothing super intense, but I will give options to intensify to the degree that feels best in your body. So as you keep your legs open in this reclined butterfly or reclined bound angle position, if at any point you need to extend your legs out or just lift the knees up, you can. Otherwise, right knee up, start to use your hands to pull it to the chest. And as you pull it in, you're going to feel a nice intensity and opening across the front of your left hip, maybe even into your right hip. You can open it slightly towards your right armpit to create more space. You also have the option of taking half happy baby, right hand through the inside of the leg to hold on to the foot, sole of the foot faces up, and bending the knee down towards the ground. Give yourself just a few more breaths. If you want even more intensity, you can kick out through the leg and try to straighten your right leg. Almost like a wide half straddle. 2 more breaths. If the leg's extended, rebend the knee, release the foot if you have it, and set the foot back into that half butterfly or any other position that feels good. Other side, left knee up, draw it in towards your chest. As you pull it in, maybe open it slightly towards your left armpit. If you want to work into that half happy baby, left hand through the inside of the leg, grab a hold of the foot. Once again, sole of the foot faces up and bend the knee down towards the ground. Stay here or kick out through the leg and find as much extension as you can. The options are entirely up to you. Whatever feels best, take that. One more breath. Actually, 2 more breaths. If the leg's extended, rebend the knee. Gently release the foot if you have it. Set it back down, half butterfly. Now we're going to take it into a quick little twist here. Right knee back up. Draw it into the chest. This time, hold the knee with your left hand, right arm to the side. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, twist. Pull the knee to the left and down while keeping your right shoulder planted. Maybe your head rolls over to the right side and just take a couple breaths. Head to center, knee to center, and set it back into that half butterfly. Other side. Left knee lifts up and in towards the chest. Hug it in. On your inhale, hold the knee with your right hand, left arm to the side, and exhale, twist. Pull it over to the right and down. Left shoulder stays grounded. Maybe the head rolls over that left shoulder. Couple more breaths here, just wringing out any of that last residual tension. Head back to center, knee back to center. Let's lift both knees up, squeeze yourself in, lift your head up nice and tight, and then release all the way out into your final resting position. Shavasana, taking the legs out wide, taking the arms out. If you want to take blocks underneath the backs of the knees, you can do that. Try to get comfortable here, letting the eyes drop back into the sockets, relaxing your jaw. We're going to take a deep breath together. So exhale and just let everything out. Through the nose, take a slow breath in. Open up from the belly, lower back, up into the ribs, mid back, all the way up into your chest, your upper back. Feel your shoulders and your sides open, holding here. And with a nice cleansing sigh, open up your mouth and just let it all go. If it feels good to take another one of those, take it. Otherwise, just let yourself relax here fully and completely. From the top all the way down, every muscle, every bone begins to relax. Not worried about any to-dos, letting the mind empty out. And for the next few minutes, just allow yourself to enjoy the presence of just being as you are. If you would like to rest longer, now would be a great time to just hit pause and to rest as long as you'd like. Otherwise, we're going to close out the practice together. Let's wiggle little fingers, the toes. Roll a little bit through the wrists and the ankles and rocking the head from side to side. Arms stretch over your head, reaching from hands all the way down to your feet, full stretch and length. And then pull the knees to your chest, arms wrap around, hugging them in, sway left, sway right, and just roll to either side, come into a fetal positioning. And then use your top hand to press into the ground and gently guide yourself up into a comfortable seat of your choosing. Spine up, eyes closed, shoulders relaxed, and hands joined together at your heart. Take a moment to scan over your body. Check in with how you feel. Check back in with your intention. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. Open up your eyes whenever you're ready. So even though we moved nice and slow, we still did some intense movements and intense postures that probably got that heart rate moving, but hopefully in a more accessible and slowed down way. I would love to hear your feedback. Feel free to share it in the comments, share with a friend, and I'm looking forward to practicing with you soon. Thank you.